new for me. All right, it says we're live.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes, and I am hosting Breaking the Block this week, which is a weekly chat where we discuss a writer's block and all the other fun topics that revolve around it in the writer world. I don't know what I'm talking about these days. I am barely awake. The sun is rising behind the curtain that I'm staring through, and yeah, I am just not here. So
Brains.
I will let my co-hosts introduce themselves, then we'll go ahead and get started with today's topic, which isn't a lot, honestly, currently.
Go ahead, Luna.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Nicole. My pen name is Luna's Frost in the writing community. I am a dark poet writer and fantasy writer. I am half the team for Enchanting Tales Publishing, and my YouTube channel is Luna's Mystical Delights, writing, match, and baking. And I also run the Writing Sisters with my sister Lauren, where we cutter being blind writers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Devon. I write fantasy and steampunk with the snarky female leads and a splash of romance. I'm also the founder of All Call Indie, which is a database of freelancers for indie authors, and 1/3 chair of the AuthorTube writing conference.
Yee!
And I should have my second book for my Witches series published either November or December.
I keep forgetting I have a book coming out in December, and I'm like, I don't talk about it except in my own videos. We're never going to mention it in live streams ever. No. And that's if I work on it, because guess what I have not been doing this week? Doing the things I should be doing. Oh, goodness. Eva's here in the chat. Hello, Eva. Eva accepts the challenge. And Eva was nice enough to post a link to All Call Indie. So that's awesome. All right. I was telling them right before the stream started was that I don't really have a topic today. So, oh, yes, I guess we can address this first. Sam is fine. Sam is struggling with Streamlabs right now. She and Streamlabs are going like toe to toe, and they are just beating it out with each other.
They're at war.
They are at war. She's mentioned in a couple of live streams she's done that she's been having trouble with it, and then she asked yesterday if anyone else could host instead because she was just not having fun. But she is fine otherwise. Okay. Cat Paw is also here. Hello. All right, so the only question I really have today to at least get us started, and we'll see what happens from there, as always, is if anyone is struggling with their current work in progress. Like, are you currently having issues that we might be able to help with, maybe, possibly?
I am going to have a hard time finding my groove again after continuously trying to write and then being distracted by hurricanes. I had my first 3 good days at the beginning of October, and then a hurricane and sickness. So, and now, of course, I'm in California visiting.
Yeah. And that was the one thing I was worried about when you mentioned that. I was just like, wait a minute. Everything good?
Just traveled across the continent.
Hurricanes definitely are not fun. Oh, hush you. Hold on, let me silence my phone. It says it wants to talk to us. And I'm like, no one asked your opinion. Thank you. All right, cool. Oh, that's an alarm. Why is there an alarm set? No, thank you. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, hurricanes are definitely no fun. I remember living in North Carolina, and I was out of the danger zone in most of these places. So I've just been seeing the pictures and stuff from both North Carolina and Florida now, and I'm just like, how? No, I can't imagine. So, let's see. Yeah, hurricanes. Cat Paw is in. I don't remember which hurricane. Were you affected by Milton, Cat Paw, out of curiosity? Because I don't remember where exactly you're located. I know you were having some hurricane issues too, but I don't remember which hurricane, or if I'm just going crazy and I'm thinking the wrong thing entirely, which is very possible. It's too early in the morning for this. That is exactly right. Life is not a straight line, and writing can happen in curves.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been realizing every once in a while, I have an epiphany, and I just realized that this is not a writing phase. This is not an editing phase. This is a something else is happening in my life phase kind of. And I've been going back through like my trackers recently to see if I can find like the ebbs and flows, like when writing is really good versus when writing is not. And it's been really interesting to see which months are good writing months versus which ones are not. And this year is completely different than previous years. It's been really weird to see. Have you guys had that kind of experience where you guys have noticed different ebbs and flows? Like right now, your ebbs and flows, Devon, are because of the hurricanes. They are screwing up everything. But let's take out the hurricanes in the equation. Is there anything else that you've noticed as far as patterns go that affect that as well?
October's have been my best writing months. I want to say October, January, February are the good ones. Of course, not November, not December, holidays, not the peak of summer. June and July, absolutely no.
I feel like for me, it's adjusting to new change because I recently got a full-time job. So now it's like I have to find energy after working to write instead of before where it's like I have all this free time. There's no big rush. Like sometimes I come from work and it's like I could write, but it's like nope, I just want to watch a movie.
Darn adulting. Why you gotta ruin all my fun for me?
Like I have dance once a week, and most of the weeks I'm like nope, like I'm not ready yet for that.
Yeah, as far as work goes, I have learned that the best way to do it, because I work night shift and I work by myself. So it's literally me, myself, and I. And it's either me talk to myself all night or I get some stuff done. So I do a little bit of both.
No, I have the morning shift. I leave my house at 5 a.m. to go to work.
You're getting to work when I'm going home.
Well, till I take public transportation, I have to add like extra 4 hours to my job too, which sucks.
Oof. But my goodness. Let's see. Grandson set up lemonade shack stand. Shake up stand. There we go. I can speak, I promise.
You sure?
No. Nope, cannot. Fundraiser this weekend for in Tennessee. Okay. And Cat Paw was affected by both of the hurricanes. Just one was a tropical storm, one was a cat one. Okay. Eva has not experienced a hurricane, but if things keep up, okay, Missouri. Emma was Missouri, right? I don't remember. Yes, parenting, school days, school years, yes. Mexico, okay. Okay, I was curious how Cancun in that area of Mexico held up with Milton. I couldn't find any news. You're now my news source, right? Like I've been paying attention to people's feeds and stuff, like when people have been posting stuff about the different hurricanes, because I wanted to make sure everyone was okay. And I was like, okay, if I haven't heard from this person by this date, I'm going to contact them and see if everything's okay, kind of thing. But it wasn't like I didn't know anyone specifically directed. Like Devon, you were mentioning earlier that you were not in the direct path of it. So I was like, okay, that's good. That's good. Don't know how my brain worked around it otherwise. Okay. So before I get to Eva's question, because I see it and it's a good one. Devon, do you have to schedule around, you got kids, I know, but do you have to schedule around a full-time job as well? Or are there other factors that affect you?
There are other I have a somewhat of a chaotic schedule. So my husband is 100% disabled, retired from the military.
Okay.
And after a certain time of day, the medication he takes, there is no driving.
Got it.
So I
Makes sense.
have one child just out of high school, getting ready to either start trade school or join the military. And I have my youngest that started high school, and there's band, there's chorus, there's competitions, there's concerts. So aside from helping my husband with his doctor's appointments and, you know, mom taxi service kind of deal.
I feel the mob taxi service because 4-H season just started. We actually missed the first meeting of the year because of the fact that I was sicker than a dog, and I was like, "This is great."
So that's how it was. That's how it is right now. I would be lost without my planner. As far as when I was working, I had a regular like 9 to 5. I had Sundays and Thursdays off.
Okay.
I say 9 to 5. It was more like 10 to 6.
Yeah, I wish my
Um,
schedule was the same, but it's always different. Wait, I hate that. Like, just pick
yeah,
one.
I would schedule my writing days, and because it was my first book, I would only write 2 days a week from 8 to 11 at night. But the rest of that time, it was just learning how to write and the process of being an indie author.
Ooh. So you did all the other things that came along with writing on top of the writing while working our schedules.
Actually, actually, no. So my mom lived with us, so she would get the kids to and from school, help with the homework, and I would just show up for the concerts.
Hey, if it works, it works. Sometimes you cannot complain about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when she passed away, I had to quit my job to do everything. So,
Big changes.
yes.
All right. And you kind of you already answered this question basically because Eva asked, as writers who work full time, do you still try and view writing as a job on the side?
I did not focus any way, shape, or form on marketing when I was just trying to write my words. I had fun on Instagram, loved creating graphics, but that was as far as it went.
This was one of the things I had to actually realize because I was always one of those people. Was like, once I started publishing, I was like, I'm going to make it as a full time writer. I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And just the past couple of years, I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. No, I do not want to do this. I have authors who tell me about the flexibility. Like some days they make like $20 a month, and then the next month they make like 10 grand. I'm like, I don't want that. Thank you very much. I want a steady income.
Right. I feel like for me, like, I'm still writing when, like, I'm not tired. But I feel like that YouTube has suffered because of the fact I need Lauren's help when it comes to do videos, and it's really hard now trying to find time when we're both free to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Or something. Okay, that was. Oh, she finished the question. I was trying to. I'm sitting here trying to figure this out, thinking it was like two separate questions. It's not. It's the same question. So, what about now, Devon? Do you now that you're at home and doing everything, do you still view it the same way, or has your view changed in the recent time?
Well, I mean, it's hard to view it as a job when you're having fun
Fair.
because, you know, I guess the time management is definitely key for me because I need to pick out the sprints basically as my working time because I can fit it in wherever my schedule needs it to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so breaking up between writing and all of my other volunteer tasks with the AWC and I'll call indie.
So it's a matter of splitting what is more important to do work on today versus what can wait till next time. Luna, what about you? Because now that you're working full time, how has your schedule changed? You mentioned that you have to kind of fit it in where it fits in, but is there, because you do not have a steady work schedule and your schedule is always changing, how has that affected everything a little bit?
Well, I feel like when it comes to writing, like I can still like write using like other devices besides my laptop. But like I said, I feel like it's affected others. Like I said, YouTube. Like I feel like I'm more like a ghost now instead of being active with it. And also my experimental baking and trying to get my Terra Cafe up and running. It seems like I really need to figure out better time management to have time to work on projects that aren't work related.
I feel that. Don't look at me. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the comments too. Miranda popped in. Hello, Rita. Sorry, Rita. I kept reading Miranda's cauldron. I want to automatically say Miranda, even though Rita puts
Same thing.
there. Let's see. Eva says, my husband is the only financial provider. My income is irrelevant, so it makes money motivation hard to find, which I'm grateful for, of course. Yeah. And that was part of the reason my mindset about writing had to change, was because of the fact that my husband and I together are the income providers. So back when he was the only income provider, there was a different mindset, definitely, than now currently with with us both being income providers.
Right. Yeah, for me before I was on government income, but it did not do enough money for where I could like feel comfortable. That's why I did a job, but now it's like a new area of things I have to figure out.
Yeah. My husband is the sole income person.
Financial provider, as Eva put it. I like that term. We're going to use that from now on.
Yep.
Yeah, he is working disabled, so most of the time he does work from home. Occasionally he has to travel, but it's not very often.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I also on help that everything now is super expensive.
Yeah.
Yes. Cat Pawn, forever looking for gigs and work with chronic fatigue and pain, etc. allows. Running a home in Mexico is very different from the UK. Send me all the sound editing jobs. Cat Paw, by the way, if you have a link, you have wrench power. Send that link. We got you. Especially with editing jobs, because I will be looking for a new editor once I finish the current series with my current editor, because we're under contract with this specific series, but after that we're not, and I don't think they're going to continue doing editing afterwards. It's a conversation we've kind of touched on a couple of times, but not really. So in the next year or so, I'll be looking for a new editor. So definitely drop some links.
Yeah. Cat Paw, what does a sound editor do?
Wait. Oh, sound editing jobs. I read that as editing jobs, as like make sure they're good jobs, kind of like I misinterpreted that.
It's still early. Let's slide.
Making money is fun. I wish my brain would hop on the wagon with the rest of me. Okay, no website, just an email. Okay, cool. Sam, hello. That came out really weird, and I apologize. Okay, current question is: do you consider writing a job, or if you already have a job, or is it something else? And or do you juggle work and writing?
I feel like for me, it's still in the phase of like hobby. Like when people come like book to mention here my book, I'm still surprised there's people that like it.
I wouldn't say that yes, it's writing is a job. I have books that I want to publish. I have stories I want to publish. So if I want to reach those goals within probably my unrealistic self-imposing deadlines, then yes, I would say that writing is a job. And the processes involved with the writing and the editing and the publishing.
For me personally, writing is not a job for me. Not anymore. It has definitely gotten to the point where that is my fun time. That is when some people watch movies and TV, and honestly, I got to thinking about it the other day, and I think I can still count on my hands how many movies and TV shows I've watched this year alone. Because all my free time goes to writing or gaming, one of the two.
Yep, same.
So for me, it's not a job. That is my relaxation time. And the way someone put it to me when I first started looking into publishing was, if you're going to write the stories, and why not try to sell them at the same time, kind of thing? Why not try to make some money from them? So if I get some pennies thrown at me for stories that I was going to write anyways, I'm okay with it. Rita says, writing for me is fun. I was a stay-at-home mom, so my writing was around their school and other stuff. Since both kids left home, writing is mostly full-time, but since January, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Writing is my only job now. When I worked retail, it was my second job. I built a flexible schedule to keep myself on track while dealing with weird hours at retail. Yes, retail definitely has weird hours. Yes. I do not miss those days.
No.
I feel like that's what I'm in. It's the grocery store. It still
Yeah.
feels like that.
And I am so sorry for you. Let's see. Right. And I want to get out of the entitlement mindset. I want to leave behind comfort for our family so that more money now, the better. Huh. I feel like that calling it an entitlement mindset is I know that's what you said you call it. That to me makes it feel like it's bad that you think that way. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing that you think that way, Eva, because you were mentioning the fact that now I have to scroll back. Making money is fun, and wish my brain would hop on the wagon with the rest of you. And the fact that you there it is. So makes money motivation hard to find. So I don't feel like that's an entitlement mindset, is what I was trying to get at, is that I don't feel like there's anything wrong with wanting to make money from writing. And at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to make money from writing. It seems like everyone's got different things that work for them. And that's how it is. I'm brain today. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That was what brought that up, and I rambled all over the place trying to get my brain to work, and it still didn't come out the way I exactly thought about it. See, I babysit before and after school. However, it's not always consistent, so hubby is the main provider. Yeah. So for those, so like we've talked about Luna's situation and Devon's situation about how both of them have very different financial incomes coming in to make up for and allow them to do what they're doing. And in my case, that I am a provider as well. And a couple people in the conversation are saying they are not versus they are. Does it make it any easier if you are not the main provider versus when you were the main provider, or currently are versus when you weren't? Do you find writing is easier now versus then, or vice versa?
It's not any easier or harder for me. No. Even when I was working, I was secondary provider because my husband was still the primary. it my responsibilities for helping my husband and my youngest, and even still sometimes my oldest, because he doesn't have a driver's license yet, and he does have a job. Yeah, it's still
Sorry.
it's neither or.
See, that's so strange because for me, it was easier to get more writing done when my husband was the sole provider. It's not that the writing itself was easier, but finding the time was easier. And maybe that's partially because the kids were younger and they were like in school full time without doing activities. Like that might be a factor in there as well. But it just feels currently that everything was easier when he was the sole provider versus now when we're both equal providers.
So, clarification on my point. It is easier now to find the time to write because my first book is done and I know how to do it. So I
Okay.
can do it faster.
That makes sense.
The
I feel
time
like for
restraints
me-
are still there. I
Okay.
still only get 2 hours max, maybe 4 days a week if I'm lucky, to write.
Okay.
I feel like for me, like before I got the job, like it was easier to find time to have all this free time to like write and do videos. But at the same time, I was more stressed out about if I would still have a place to stay and all that because of how low amount of money you get from the government. Right now, I don't have as much free time, but less stressful about my income.
The income stress definitely is a factor as well. Most definitely. It's like we joke in our household now that we're like one paycheck away from homelessness, and it's not exactly a lie.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Let's see, okay, cat paw. It was my job until the panda hit, and it made me even more disabled. Okay, sound. Yeah, I was the one that misinterpreted that. Most definitely, it was me. I do not have any audiobooks currently, but again, in a year or two, definitely gonna be looking at some different stuff.
Yeah, both
Hey,
Lauren
Adrian.
and my books are an audible for poetry.
There you go. Let's see. Eva after replied that I don't dream of working, so writing is writing and working is working. My job would be marketing, but I am only a volunteer at the moment. Okay, that makes sense. And that's kind of my, in a way, that's kind of my mindset. The writing is definitely writing and working is working. Like they are two separate things. I think where my mindset starts to shift is where publication starts to come involved, because I do want to make sure that the book I am publishing is the best form of it. It's not me just throwing a first draft like I used to do with Fiction Press. It's we're not Wattpadding this anymore at this time.
We're not reading those stories. Those will stay until we're ready for editing.
I had to go back and look at some of those stories to grab links for videos I was doing, and I was like, I don't want to look. When did I last post? 2008.
Oh.
It was just one of those moments where I was like, I can't do it. No, don't make me.
I know that feeling. Like, I'm trying to rewrite a series I tried, like, for my first book. I'm looking at, like, oof. Like, how did I think this was good back then? Like, this is horrible. Like, I don't want to read this.
I'm not going to lie. I love those videos where people are like, I'm going to read some of my first writing. And I'm like, I don't have some of my first writing, so I'm good there. But there is evidence of some of my earlier writing, like 5 years down the road from the first writing. And I'm like, I don't want to go back and read that either. No, thank you. That is so interesting, Catball, that you did furniture restoration and soft furnishings. I'm because I'm so used to there's jobs that you don't think about that exist that do, and like in the back of your mind they have to exist because someone has to do these kind of jobs. But until someone says they're actually doing it, you're just like, oh, that's a thing. Let's see. Adrian says, I have a full-time job. My author gig is a second full-time job. So is parenting. I have to treat a lot of these things as jobs because they are, which makes sense. I have no idea how people find time to watch all these series. I haven't watched a movie or TV show in almost 6 months now, I think.
So actually, what I have done because I would, what is it called? Hyper focus. I cut myself off at the time that my husband gets off the computer for work. So I cut myself off, and then I we sit down and we have devoted time to watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
Ooh,
one movie a night. If when everyone's home, we sit down and we watch a movie together, and we eat dinner on the couch and enjoy.
That's nice.
that was one of the things we had to start doing. We had to start scheduling in like family time. And
Mhm.
my husband and I keep trying to schedule date nights, which never happened during the night. I don't know why we call them date nights. Uh, but that portion has not been working out as well as we would hope. But the family nights, Sunday nights, are definitely once all of our errands are done and where everyone's home and settled. That we alternate between playing video games, board games, and
Nice.
and watching a movie or a TV series. We're in the middle of like 4 different series right now because we can't seem to finish any of them before we move on to the next. And again, that's probably where the 10 movies I've watched this year have come from, is just from spending time with my family and doing something every Sunday.
Yeah. And we don't know if our oldest, how long he's going to be home for. So
Yeah, I
that
feel like
might
that's important
mix.
to like make time for family time or just hang out with friends or something like that. Just whenever we learn, like Fridays, we watch a movie. Like, oh, we tried to even YouTube it. It's like, nah, just rather just have fun, and just hang out.
Yeah.
That's how I get a lot of the books listened to. So Adrian said, but thanks to the nature of my job, at least I can listen to audiobooks while I work. So still feel the creative well. Every time I mention how many books I've read this year, everyone's like, how? And I'm like, because I work night shift by myself and I can listen to a book a day.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I listen to books on my ride home or two because like, I have 2 hours on this bus. I can listen to a book.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's exactly how I finish so many books though. Is literally just listening to them while working. So Adrian's like, let's be clear, I make no money as an author. Same. Every once in a while, I get an email from Amazon, and I'm like, "Oh, I get money. How much do I get? Oh, it's less than 50 cents. Cool."
Right. I get more
Everybody's.
emails like, "There's an error, KTP. Your account's frozen." I'm like, really?
I'm always pleasantly surprised when I get an email from Amazon saying I've made some money. I'm like, "Yay! I'm doing it! Woo! Someone read my book."
Yeah. I feel like for me and Lauren, we did really good at Botathon because we were the only two that did poetry. So we got some waffles on that concept. That was fun.
See, I like this concept that Adrian may not make as much profit from it, and every profit they get goes right back into it, but they still treat it as a job. I don't.
No.
Not until it's ready for publication. That's when I start treating it like a job, because once the book is actually ready for publication, that's when I'm like, you're no longer just fun for me to read. You are a byproduct that I am selling.
So I have a question for that then. How do you budget for the expenses that you need for publication, like the editing and the cover design? Because um, my husband and I, we sit down and we like, okay, we're setting this much aside every paycheck for when I get to the point of that next book.
So for me personally, my husband and I, we make sure all of our bills are paid first, of course, from every paycheck. But then we both each get a set amount of fun money that we can use for whatever we want. And I set a certain amount of that fun money aside for stuff like that. What has helped me is back when he was the sole provider and my plan was to make this a full-time career, I may have gone a little crazy when a bunch of the artists I know were doing like sales and bought a fuck ton of pre-made covers. I have like 30 in my repertoire. But literally all I have to do is contact the artist and be like, I need a title and an author change, and we're good to go. With editing, I've done a lot of different things where I've done like mostly what I've done is that nothing has gotten edited except by me, so it's not ready for publication anyways, and that's why I've got so many stuff on the back burner. It's because it's like, oh, all you need is a professional editor to look at it now. We're gonna ignore it for right now. It's just gonna stay there. And then otherwise, when I do have the money, like I have that contract with the current editor. She is under contract. Originally it was for 5 books and then we changed it to 4. And I make sure that I have contracts in place. And as long as I've got that money set aside, we're good. And I don't care about anything else. It'll happen when it happens, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I learned lessons hard ways about how you should have contracts with people when you do business. And when it comes to like doing the book and all that, usually that's Lauren's area, and I don't know how she does it, but she still finds like book covers and stuff really cheap. I don't know how she does it.
But I was part of a bunch of Facebook groups and they were always posting about different deals. And now I follow specific artists that I'm interested in their works. And whenever they host deals, I go take a look. And I'm like, do you have anything I'm interested in? Let me look through the blinds here. No, cool. Back away.
But yeah, so how it works is that she'll spend most of the money and then I'll slowly refund it because I'm the saver, she's the spender. So that kind of balances us both out.
That sounds fairly familiar with me and my husband. He is the spender. I'm like, no, we need this much money for this thing.
We have a lot of hobbies, so we don't do the set aside for fun money. It's like the pot that this chunk of change is in. Oh, you found a new guitar? Let's see how much money is right there. Yes, you may get the new guitar.
Same.
My husband's only hobbies right now currently are D&D, gaming, and Magic the Gathering. So we know exactly where the fun money is going. It's going into one of those 3. It's just which is more important at this time. Okay. Eva asked, does structure equal work as a job to... Okay, that was a question for Adrian, which Adrian answered. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, I have to put in the time every day, rain or shine, sick or healthy, busy or not. I have to make time to clock in, put in the work, and clock out. That is an interesting mindset because I can't do that. Not like I said, not until the book is ready for publication.
That's what I do too.
That's what you do too?
Yeah. Like I call it my working hours. I know on Mondays there will be no doctor's appointments. There are no after school activities. And if my oldest son does work, it's in the evenings. So on Mondays, specifically Shannon sprints, SD Houston, for my time zone, 9 a.m. to, she usually wraps it up at around 2 p.m. Those are my working hours. That is when I try and get the most of my admin done. Try and get 1,200 or 4,800 words in. That. And then the rest of the week is just chaos. And I just go with the flow then.
Because of the kids and all the activities that we're suddenly doing, a little less this year than last year because of other reasons that I'm not getting into, but my life is always chaos. So I always have to plan around their activities first. And then that was part of the reason I started making sure I get my writing done. If I wanted to get any writing done at all, it had to be done during my work breaks for that reason alone.
Yeah.
And then everything else was just set on the wayside. And when it got done kind of thing. Talking about responsibilities, Adrian just considers writing another responsibility. Other priorities include family, home, health, friends. What is health? What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know what that is.
Concept.
Says the person who avoided the doctor's phone calls for like 4 days in a row because they just didn't feel like talking on the phone and scheduling an appointment. That would have taken 5 seconds. I like this one. My wife is a priority. My kids are a priority. My job is a priority. And my writing is a priority. I I rebel from productivity, but get plenty done. That is kind of me. That's where I stand. The moment I say I have to get something done, that's when it's like, nah, we're not getting that done now. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. For me, if I'm planning to write or get something done, I have to make sure my phone is not where I can see it. Because I'll either go down a YouTube rabbit hole or fanfic rabbit hole, and it's like, oh, bye day. Or gaming, it's like, no. Like, be good. Get it done.
Yeah, I was definitely finding that's what it affected me the most. And like everyone talks about writer's block, and I'm like, I don't get that. I get productivity block. When I say I have to work on something specific, that's when my brain is like, no, shiny new idea. Work on this.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, I totally feel you.
2 days from the deadline for the Bog Hag anthology for those who are submitting. Just in case you needed to know.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Adrian says, I like to tell myself I spent 30 years procrastinating. Now everything is due and it's crunch time. I try not to get myself into the mindset. So I have been publishing off and on for 20 years now. Not 20 years. 10 years. 10 years. Been writing off and on for 20, publishing for 10. And I try not to get into the mindset that everything is due now and it's crunch time, only because I feel like that kind of pressure will make me just stop point blank and I won't want to do anything. It goes back to the way my brain rebels when I have to work on something and I tell myself that needs to get done before anything else. All of a sudden my brain's like, nope, we're not doing it.
So the whole idea of work comes involved with it.
Yeah.
Work. I want to do the fun things. And
Yep.
to be totally honest, writing for me is not the fun part. The processing and editing of it, once all the ideas are down, for me is the fun part.
Really? Because I feel like writing's fun part and I don't want to edit it.
I like drafting. I like editing. It's really weird because everyone talks about hating editing, and I'm like, I don't hate editing. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But for me, the fun part is going back through when it's finished and it's like finally you are as done can be, and you read back through it and you're like, this makes it all worth it.
It's not that I don't like editing, it's just that I always second guess everything I do for editing because I wasn't really like taught how to edit, so it's hard to like have confidence in it.
Everyone dreads like beta readers, but I look forward to beta readers because fine-tuning the story and getting what will make it make more sense to the masses, I enjoy that.
I don't personally enjoy beta reading just because I feel like the feedback I give comes across. I don't mean it as harsh. It comes across as harsh, and I don't offer to beta read for that reason because I take the. You don't want to see the notes I leave on some of the published books where I'm like, you know how you can annotate in your Kindle and your e-reader? You don't want to read the notes that I leave because I'm like, this fucking character just pissed me off so much.
You're not harsh.
Why are they acting this way?
I love that so much. Oh, it was so funny. So I have a couple of my closer friends are beta readers, and they read my first book, and they were like, Devon, I don't like Amabel. She's a horrible person. I'm like, goal attained. That was the point. Glad to know that I did it right. And they were like,
we're supposed to hate her. We're not supposed to like. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what Alan better read. I'm too blunt. I hurt people's feelings. It's like I'm not trying to. It's just how I feel. Like if you don't want to hear it, don't ask me to read your book. Then. Lauren loves it. She's like, you should do videos. Like, no, I don't want to make more people cry.
That's why I couldn't be an editor, because everyone's like, you have to be constructive. I'm not going to be constructive. I'm going to be destructive. I'm going to blow that shit up. And you won't like it. Oh, Eva says we have to set reading times where we read with our son. Son is 7. She mentioned that in an earlier comment. Leads into a lot of natural family time, like just the reason to put tech down and spend time together. The weather for walks helps a ton too. It's already too cold here. I'm wearing long sleeves. No thanks. No walks.
Our water system's drunk. It was cold yesterday, but it's hot today.
I think it got into like the 90s yesterday, and then it dropped to like the low 40s last night. So yes, feel that. Bipolar weather is great. Adrian says kids spend plenty of time on TV, and we have family time doing other things. For us, family time is driving down to, say, Augustine Beach or the Springs, parks, museums, etc. So I'm the only one that misses out on the TV and movies and stuff. If it's animated, I'm not missing out on that. I will see that 50 times more than the kids will, honestly. Sarah, hello. Sarah popped in earlier. My husband and I have been time to get when I get home around 4. We have family time with the youngest kid on Sundays. Grandkids are an hour plus away, so we don't get there as regularly. Let's see. Cat Paw said, this year I've watched the 3 Body Problem and Umbrella Academy and some odd one-off M found sci-fi. Okay. And Rita said, as an empty nester since 2019, it's been weird, maybe too quiet. It's quiet. Too quiet. Gotta get some noise.
That just makes me suspicious.
Right? Now that my kids are teenagers with cell phones, the quiet doesn't bother me as much as it used to.
Right.
Now it's understandable.
My kids are gamers, so if they stop yelling, I have to be like, did you break something? Because I'm not replacing it.
I feel that. Let's see. Sarah says, I cannot do law office work with sounds on, but I write with movies, TVs, books, etc. Ooh, that brings up another good point. Okay. Age-old question. Do you write with sound or without it? Oh, that's the chickens.
So when I was younger, I wrote without sound. Now, thanks to learn, I need music. Either it's like Disney or musicals or some type of theme that matches what I'm writing.
So you'd write with the sound, and it has to match the theme. Like both have to be consistent.
Yes.
Interesting.
So like for my dark poetry books, I have to have like Icon for Hire, Sim Soldier, like something dark playing in the background.
Okay. About you, Devon?
That's a tough one. I cannot write to music or sound that I know the lyrics to, because I will stop writing and sing. And since my books take place in like, think Three Musketeers, Marie Antoinette time era.
Okay.
It's a lot of classical, Roaco,
Nice.
things like that, but with like a rock twist. So there's like electric guitar in there and things. I can write to that.
I need a link to these playlists just so I can see what you're talking about, because this sounds amazing. And I can't picture it in my head either.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra with the electric guitars and the drums and things like that, but they're doing classical music.
I know what you're referring to. That's fun to listen to.
I'm weird because I can do both. Because I'm going to tune out whatever sound is going on, whether it has lyrics that I know or not. Once I get into the zone, it's not going to matter what's playing in the background. I had to stop during my live streams and sprints and stuff. I had to stop playing music during the sprints because I would get into the zone and I wouldn't hear the timer, and I'd just continue going until like the next sprint. And everyone in the chat's like, hello. Timer went off, and I'm just like,
that's why you set a second timer. So you hear that.
I'd ignore it too, probably, honestly. So I can go both ways. I can do it without music and I can do it with music. The only thing I can't do is everyone talks about the binaural beats. That makes my skin crawl for some reason I cannot explain. Like, I don't like it. Writing or no, doesn't matter. I hear the binaural beats and I'm just like, nope, we're done.
I can't do lo-fi.
Oh, see, I love lo-fi.
I can't do it.
Yeah, like I said, I can use it, but there's certain sounds that I cannot hear. Like, I feel bad. I know Richard Holiday has that typewriter in the background. And I'm like, Richard, like, please, for the love of goddess, turn it off.
I have the clicky cat keyboard. I got typewriter all day long, basically. Cat Paw, considering Amazon does not pay me, they have the nerve to pester me about advertising my books, including anthologies I've been a part of. I feel that.
Same.
Rita says, I try to treat writing as a job, but I feel the same way. I've not published, so no income for writer for me. Let's see. My husband and I both have freelance writings. We use the money for both of our non-job projects. See, there we go. And that's the other thing. So I mentioned earlier that I make pennies from whatever writing I do publish, and that always goes right back. Like Adrian mentioned, it goes right back into writing. So that sits in its own little separate bank account just for that kind of stuff. It may not be much, but that's where it goes. It goes straight back into it. No, Eva, why do you hate me?
What?
You have been challenged.
It says 30 releases before 2030. That's like 6 years away. Actually, that's possible. I have a video coming out soonish that was supposed to be released this week, but YouTube hates me. I figured out why, at least. It has nothing to do with YouTube. It's not YouTube's fault. But it will explain a little bit about why that actually is a possibility. There might be 30 releases before 2030.
Impressive.
I joke every once in a while that I'm going to be the person that's going to just randomly drop 10 titles in like less than a year. And everyone's going to be in the reviews being like, this was written by AI. I'll be like, no, I'm just going to got a backlog. I got to publish all at once. It's all good. It's 10 years worth of writing that's just suddenly publishable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad. I kind of been a little behind for my publishing dates, and it's like I need to catch up.
Cat Paw used to work as a graphic designer for years, so I do my own covers. I am not that talented. Not that talented at all.
Nope. I need stickers. I don't think that'd sell.
Sarah also has Adobe stock account with stuff for covers and art and whatnot. And my husband does layout and covers and whatnot as his day job. So there we go.
That's cool.
Eva gets paid through Daughters LLC as a contractor for the work they do at a rate I never actually worked for.
Fam.
Adrian says, every year, a small percentage of our tax returns go into my author budget fund for the year. This is meant for software I'm subscribed to, ISBN purchasing, editing costs, and cover. That's actually something my husband and I have been talking about doing, is exactly that, putting a percentage of tax returns straight into my author budget. So it's interesting to see that someone else is doing it already. But it's never enough.
Nope.
Never enough. Always need to raise more money in other ways, like online store, doing commission work. I had a thought and it just derailed.
Saw your thought fly away.
Yeah. I imagine. Yeah. Let's see. Rita, only have one book cover, and my daughter-in-law created it for me. We'll be creating the rest in the series. Okay. To raise money for okay, specifically that was talking about the commission work. Okay. For you two, do you have things that, like I mentioned, my funds go directly back into the publishing thing? Is there any like extra or other income streams that you guys have that go straight into publishing, no matter what it is or what else it might be needed for?
I tried to do total different types of missions to off the ground, but sometimes it's like, no matter how hard you try marketing, you still can't really get anyone to bite or be interested. Like, I tried offering to do board writing for people and, offering to write poems for people and nothing.
I did utilize the PayPal credit to pay for some, costs. That way they cover it, and then I just pay that balance back over time. But it's better to save because interest rates.
Interest rates hurt. They suck.
But I do have a side business where I made desserts per month, restaurant, and not a lot of money goes back to my writing.
Oh, nice. Skye at the start of the stream. We only have one topic. I am the queen of topic hopping, okay? I know we'd be fine as long as we had at least one. I know we'd find a way to make it work.
Just need a little spark.
That's all you need. Monday is a good work day for me because of those sprints, but Monday is no school day this week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And definitely no
school flying back. Yeah, I'll be flying back to Florida Monday night. So
are you going to still continue doing your usual, because you mentioned Monday's your work day, you do streaming stuff with Shannon. Are you going to do that before you fly out, or is that going to be a no work day?
Nope. Spending time with family, having fun.
There you go. After having no meds for 3 weeks, I'm focused on my health. Oh, yes, definitely should be.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I like this. Adrian posted us a schedule. I wake up at 5 a.m., write from 5:30 to 6:30, leave for work at 7, make time for it every single day. I even get up at 5 on my off days so I can write when the house is dark and quiet, fast asleep. That's what I used to have to do, pretty much, just write when everyone else was asleep.
I cannot write in the morning to save my life. I can't do it. Like, if I have anything that I need to write, it's in the evening after everyone's gone to bed and I've had time to think. There's no thought process for me before 10 o'clock, which is why I don't know why I tried to do the 8 a.m. sprints. It made absolutely no sense for me.
I have been finding sprints for me have not been writing related. I have to do other things during those sprints. Otherwise, I completely ignore the chat. Or we chat too long in between the sprints to allow for actual sprint time. So I'm like,
yeah. 5 a.m. is too early for my brain to want to write. I'll read, not early, but writing's nope.
And see, 5 a.m.
writing time is 11 a.m. That's when oh, this is working.
Same. Late morning is my writing time.
Yeah.
And your guys' writing time is midnight for me. I am fast asleep at that time. Let's see. Sarah says, I am not ever even I am not ever tempted by my phone, but the computer is where I work, and that's all the distractions. Same.
Oh, you still get the YouTube stuff on your computer.
Yeah. I have my laptop, which is what I'm streaming from today, but right beside it is my desktop, which in my mind, when I had the desktop made, I was like, this is going to be my gaming computer, and that's all it's used for. It's not all it's used for. Past me was an idiot. Procrastination. Hi, Cammie.
I feel like what helps me is that I would play gaming, but now that everything's more visual, it's oh, can't see it. I'll do this, but it's we can't do that, but here's an alternative. Crap.
Yep. Definitely. I love learning how different people do stuff. Adrian says, I think the lesson here is that we all do it differently. And that is exactly true. Yes. That is actually why I love these discussions, is so that we can find out what everyone does and how they do it differently than each other. because I find it so fascinating. Let's see. Adrienne also says, I only think that way because I had goals for where I'd be before having kids. And then I blinked and now we have 2 and they're 9 and 5 and not slowing down. So I got to make shiz happen.
Yes. Yes.
No, Adrian's just a robot and pretending human.
Rita says, yes, just like our stories, we're all different in our writing process. I love those are my favorite videos to watch, are people talking about their writing process. Love them. Time gets faster and faster. Rita says, I love editing. Adrian says, writing is definitely the fun part. I do love editing a lot, though. Capo says, the line edits. Ugh.
So line edits are a different form of editing, and I'd rather leave that up to somebody else. Mix is better, and then I will review, and then we will go on to next step. Don't ask me questions.
Between developmental editing, line editing, and proofreading, my favorite stage is the proofreading, because then you're just making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that's it. Then you're good.
Right.
Again, I pass that off to somebody else because I cannot beta read to save my life. I get lost in the story. Like, I'll leave comments like, oh, hell yeah, this character deserved that.
Yeah.
But I won't offer constructive criticism because I am too absorbed into the story to be that kind of reader.
Same. Sarah says, I hate putting myself in the focus place that editing requires. And then Eva says, I love editing, but I do struggle with focus. I can edit another's project in a week or 2. Mine? Nope. Nope. Same, Sarah. I edit harshly as well.
I mean, who doesn't?
See, Eva, drafting is among my least favorite aspects of storytelling. Oh, man. That's so interesting. Cami says, my hyper-focus doesn't allow me to hate that part. I think we're talking about the editing. Yeah, editing. Beta readers have always scared me, but then I did it. Now only if I could beta read quicker and write less notes. Oh, that's the other thing. I leave a ton of notes.
Give the note. When I usually have like something to hand over for beta reader, like make it bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Just show me red.
I sent my editor a novella that was like 30K, and she came back with 200 plus comments. And I was like, yeah. Let's see. I write something new one day. Next day I edit what I wrote the day before. Next day write something new. Next day edit. Ooh, I like that back and forth. That's an interesting way to do it. I am so behind in comments. But there's such interesting conversations going on.
It's so interesting. But I have to go soon, so
yeah, let's see if I can. Let me see if I'll have to go back and watch the stream just to answer the questions in the comments.
Right.
Okay. I write with concentration music, either genre-related stuff or movie scores. I like movie scores. That's a good one. Yes. I want to see if there's anything else
with no lyrics.
Let's see. Okay. I want to make sure there was like no new people that came in that were answering questions that we've had this whole time. Catpaw, I see your question, and I'm going to hold that off for the next Breaking the Block session. Look at me being all somewhat smart. I know some people in the comment section are answering it, though, so it's good. Okay. I don't see... Most of this is, like, commenting on stuff we've been talking about this whole time. So, all right. We have been live for an hour. We've had lots of different conversations. At this point, I don't even know what all we've talked about because we started with one topic and have just hopped around. And
that's the best way to do it, though.
Yeah, I like doing it that way. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and cut it off here, though, guys. Sorry about that. Devon does need to go. And so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And Devon, if you want to go ahead and start and do your outro, and then we'll wrap this up.
Hey everyone, my name is Devon. You can catch me for sprints Wednesdays and Thursdays at 10 to 1. No more early morning things for me. Uh, you can catch me anywhere on the interwebs. My next book I'm going to try to publish in November or December, and we'll see where it goes. And The Witch's Crystal is free with newsletter sign up, so search me on the links.
And I will have to edit my description to add Devon's links because I don't think they're there. I thought I added them, but I have no idea if I did. So I'll double check that. All right, Luna?
Well, thanks for hosting, Skye, and I really appreciate you reading the comments, since then I felt more included, since I can't really see them. Anyway, my name is Nicole. My pen name is Luna Knits Frost. I think the next book coming out for me to learn is her poetry collection called Deceptive Embers. So look out for that. It might be coming out closer to December. And working on trying to get my collection called Disenchanted, a collection of poetry for Disney and Pixar characters, hopefully this year.
Woo. This year is almost over. It's hard to believe.
I know. It was supposed to be out last year, but I missed my deadline.
Whoops. I love deadlines. I love to listen to the whooshing sounds as they fly by. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am sorry I didn't get through all the comments. There was a lot of good conversations going on, though. So hopefully we'll be able to get to that with next week's Breaking the Block. And hopefully we'll be back on Sam's channel because Sam is the one that usually hosts this. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes. And I have a book coming out in December that I keep forgetting to mention until someone else mentions that they've got books coming out. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I do too.
Reminder.
Maybe I should talk about it. I usually stream Saturday evenings. However, this month I will not be because we are trying to buckle down and get everything prepped for, winter time. And we are nowhere near as prepped as we should be by now. So no streams this month for me. Hopefully back to doing that next month. And instead, I'm hoping to get a backlog of videos filmed, edited, and posted since I seem to be having struggles with that lately. And
I totally feel you on that.
Well, it's me and my editing software fighting with each other. It keeps making my files too big, and YouTube's like, nope, I ain't uploading that. It's spam. So that's fun. At least I figured out what was going on. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we're going to go ahead and say bye now. So, bye, everyone.